First of all, thank you for the invitation. My name is Nanette Verhulst, and together with Minke, we'd like to tell you the way we organize and facilitate teacher development at Utrecht University and about our project of future learning spaces. As we just told you, we are both working for the Center of Academic Teaching and Learning. And we hope this presentation can inspire you for the teaching in your own institutions. Early this morning, our colleagues Dan and Geertje had a presentation, and I think they told you some facts and figures of Utrecht University. On this slide, you see some pictures in the black building on the left or on the right. That's the University Library at the Science Park. In that library is our office, and in the middle you see the Dom Tower and the canal, the Oude Gracht, and you also see a lot of bicycles on the pictures. Utrecht is one of the most bike-friendly cities in the Netherlands or in the world, and we also have a big bike parking. In that parking is a place for almost 30,000 bicycles. So now we hope to give an impression of our city, and of course you're always welcome for a visit. Now we are working for the Center for Academic Teaching and Learning, and the center has 3 pillars: educational innovation, teacher development, and educational scholarship. And today we focus, in this presentation, we focus on teacher development and educational innovation. We are working from one university-wide teaching model, the Utrecht education model, and key elements in this model are teaching in small groups, up to 30 people. During every course there is a mid-assessment or intermediate feedback. We work with a uniform Duitsland model. That means we have 4 teaching periods in a year, and each period of each week has a basic schedule. So that makes it easier for scheduling for the rooms, for the teachers, but also for the students, that they can combine their courses. They follow in each period 2 courses. Educational innovation is very important at Utrecht University. I think you heard that's what Dan and Geertje also focus on that point. Blended learning, we focus on blended learning, supported by the program Educated. We have a teaching and learning lab and an incentive fund for educational innovation. In this fund is 2 million per year available for implementation of innovation education projects by faculties or teachers. And blended learning, it concerns the educational concept around the design of education that focus on optimizing and enriching students-centered learning experiences. Now this creates a combination. Blended learning is also the combinations of a physical learning environment and a digital learning environment. And important is that they reinforce each other and integrate with each other. So now in this slide you see a lot of information. It's a timeline of Utrecht University for the educational innovation, faculty development, and teaching career. We start in the 90s with a system of teacher qualification, an annual conference, and teaching awards, all focused on more attention to the quality of teaching. In the 90s, we also start with an educational resources pool, and this pool offers faculties the option of requesting educational advice and support for the improvement and innovation of their education. It can be used to provide support with a single course, a study component, methods or instrument, as well as a complete curriculum. There's a lot of money, as I told you, 2 million a year. And it's also, a teacher can use it for improved professionalization and implement educational innovations. Further in the timeline, you see the start of the Teaching Fellow program, but also the start of the program Educated, the focus on blended learning. And you see also the start of the Center of Academic Teaching and Learning in 2017. So we are now 5 years old, and we had our first lecture in last October. And before we go further, we had a few questions for making some interaction with you. So we have a Hooklab, some questions in Hooklab. And on the slide you can see how to participate. So take a moment so everyone can go to hooklab.com, and on the right you see the code you can use.
There's one person in already, I see. Now two.
So, running up.
Yes. It's nice to see if we can create some interaction with you guys, even though you're a lot further away. I have no idea with how many people you are, by the way, so maybe we'll just wait one more minute and then start.
50 people are there in space. Now 8
I see
people.
someone is still scanning the QR code.
Yes.
That's also a possibility.
Yeah, but even when, sorry, Minke and Nanette, even when we try to enter through the QR code, we are kicked out of Hooklab again.
Oh,
So
I tried to join the event, but then
when we introduce the event code, we redirect to the start.
yeah, but you got kicked out now.
No, we cannot access.
All of you.
No, at least
This message.
no. It's
Raise your hand, there's no vote in progress.
no. We come back again to the message that there is no question asked.
Oh yeah, that's true though, because now we are asking a question to the 15 people who are logged in, and now we'll see the moment of truth, whether you can answer it or not.
Oh, yes.
So we were wondering, at your institutions, does innovation take place mainly bottom up or top down?
Yes, now it's working. I think at least
Now it's working. Yeah, I see it. Nice.
three of us are part of it.
7 out of 16 people have answered now, but maybe the rest cannot access it anymore. Oh no, it's still going up. It's 50-50, yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay, 60-40.
Slowly but steadily.
Lectioner as well.
Yeah, and it is indeed something like election results.
Oh, it's really kind of 50-50. Okay. Good to know.
Person who joined us. 17.
But I think we can conclude
Yeah.
that this is, it's 50-50, bottom up and top down, okay?
Another question, that's an open question. What workshop topics would you feel you need as a teacher or your colleagues in your institutions?
This is 500 teachers. Oh.
Colors. I think the topics are recognizable.
Mhm.
I wonder what's the meaning of first aid. It's very interesting.
How to use digital tools. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That gives a good impression, I think.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I think it's very important. Yes.
onto the. Did we have 16 in the start?
Yeah, 16 or 17. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Can
Now,
we
thank
go on
you.
to the last one?
Yes. And it's kind of a question about what workshop do you think was most popular at our university in Utrecht between September and December last year?
I'm 119. No people joined.
Yes. Mm, 7 people for the answer.
Now you're going to give the ultimate answer to all this.
Yes, yes, we give the yes, but we don't spoil it. Yes, no, I think the right answer is student well-being, because at our university after the Corona pandemic, students it was very difficult for them to go back to the university. And students have a lot of problems. So that was the right answer. That was our most popular workshop in the period September, December. Okay, thank you for participating. Okay, let's go further with our presentation. And I'm going to tell you more about the way we organize and the topics of our teacher development offer. On this slide, you can see an overview of our offer for teacher development. The continuous development offer is facultative, and we have also a more career-oriented development offer. It follows the career path from effective teacher to a national and global leaders in teaching and learning. Of course, that's not for every teacher, but that follows the career path. In the the more career-oriented development, we start with the basics with a Start to Teach program. That's for teachers who are new at our university and then can follow a short course. And after that, they can follow the university teaching qualification program. That's called the BKO, and then the SKO, that's more for senior teachers. And after there is a program for educational leadership program or for teacher fellows. And this is about the Start to Teach program. So this is for new teachers. It starts every teaching period, so 4 times a year. and it's to support them and to help them with their new tasks. And and in this program, it includes an introduction to the educational model, didactical skills training on how to motivate students, and also the role of assessment. And as I told you, 3 days. Then after that, the more further in the career of teachers, there is teachers can participate in the program of educational leadership or in the teacher fellow program. And that's in these programs is attention for the educational leadership program is a program for 14 months. The aim is to foster the educational leadership, and the learning goals are a mix of pedagogical and informal leadership training. And it's a format with several components, 2 days meetings, but also a study trip abroad. And there's also attention for mentoring. And on the other side of the line is there's the senior fellow program. That's a long program. It's 3 to 5 years. And it's a career track for full professor in your own faculty with a focus on education. And this starts in 2003, and now an increasing number of these professors are appointed all over the university. Besides the more career-oriented development, we also have an offer that's more continuous development. And that consists of short courses and trainings and online courses and workshops, for example, blended learning. And there is also attention for the personal development of teachers. We have a development guide together with human resources. And on this slide, you see an example of the program we had in September, last September until September and October for the workshops. And these are workshops from about 2 hours. And there you see the workshop of students' well-being. I think that's also was in this period, but I don't see it now. But you see, it's a mix of 2 workshops of digital assessment, engaging education. So I think this is for part similar to the things you mentioned in the book lab. Here you see some of our online modules. Teacher can also follow these in their own time with their own pace. Topics are, for example, peer feedback, online education, context and design, and these are available for our teachers. And this is another example. This is one of our most recent products. It is a game about blended learning, and is helpful for understanding and realizing the concept of blended learning in course. And it works with learning activities related to learning goals, and the aim is to making a wave of learning activities in a combination of an online and face-to-face setting, physical setting, to optimize the student learning experiences. And this is one of our other activities. We also organize events, and we also facilitate community building. Once a year we have an onderwijs festival, an education festival. At this festival there are teaching awards. Students can nominate teachers for the awards, award for experienced teachers, but also for teacher talents. And we have teaching and learning inspiration days. That's 3 days with a lot of workshops, special interest groups on topics like assessments, game-based learning, future learning spaces, and more community building is with meet and greet sessions. So I hope this all gives impression the way we facilitate our teachers at Utrecht University. And now Minke will come tell you some more about another project, Future Learning Spaces.
Yes. Liever, till what time do we have? Do we have till 12 o'clock round? I think we started a bit later.
Not that much. I think that we have in this session 10 to 15 minutes maximum left.
Then I will really try to squeeze it in a short amount of time.
And it will be 2 minutes for questions from the audience.
Sorry?
It's good to have a few questions, to have 5 minutes left for questions from the audience.
Yeah, I will try to run through future learning spaces real quick. So Nanette just told you that we offer some different opportunities for teachers to develop themselves in creating learning objectives, finding engaging teaching and learning activities. But we think that the learning space should be added to that, because in what learning space you have your education really creates the opportunities to make active learning a thing. I will try to illustrate that to you, that vision. So this is a teacher who has gained some interesting insights into active learning, and they want to practice that. Then they come into their classroom and this is what they see. They have fixed tables in rows. Well, the active learning activities will not even be so active anymore. The teacher is a bit restricted because the tables cannot be moved. So those active learning activities that they wanted to do, they will not work, and they will probably not even use it anymore next year. So this is why we started a program on freeing the teachers from those limiting classrooms. This is the way that we view learning spaces. So we should adapt our learning spaces to our teaching and not the other way around. I'm going to skip the video, I think. Yeah. Okay. Then we continue to the structure of our project. So how do we make those spaces? We start with the core elements of UU's educational vision, such as activating education, and then we translate those into the didactical principles for a physical learning environment, such as that the learning environment should create interaction between teacher and student. And together with the more long-term developments for education, we start designing a concept. And when we are satisfied with the concept, which is designed together with teachers and students, we start to pilot it. And I will show you an example of how we've done this with the active learning classroom. So we started with some research what was done at Minnesota on the active learning classroom. And then we made a concept together with teachers and students. This is what it looks like. So there were the teachers in the middle, has a nice overview, and there are 6 tables of groups who each have their own screen and their own whiteboard. And then we started piloting it. So this was the first prototype. We did that in our teaching and learning lab, which is an open space in which we can experiment with all different kinds of concepts, such as this one. In the pilot, we found that this classroom improved student-teacher interaction. It also improved student-student interaction, and the teachers felt like they had a better insight into the learning process. So this was a pilot to be very happy with. So then we created the actual high-fidelity type classroom. And this is the way it looks now. It is now almost finished. We're fine-tuning the hybrid element that we added. So we added a hybrid element to facilitate hybrid group work that happens, for example, in Charm EU, which Jan Haarhuis has told you all about yesterday. So this setup makes it possible for groups from different universities to communicate with one another, to make mixed groups from students who are at the UU and students who are at another university. The findings are so far that it's very good for collaborative and student-centered learning. So that's the way the hybrid active classroom is now. We have 3 more future learning spaces now, and we hope to develop a lot more. I hope this has given you kind of an impression on what we do on teacher development and future learning spaces in the UU. I'm not sure if there's time for a few questions. I hope so. I hope that I've rushed through it quickly enough to be able to give you the time to ask some questions. But first of all, thank you very much for your attention, of course.
Okay, thank you very much.